Hello everyone and welcome to another Strata Master Class session. My name is Narendran Sivkumar. I am the Senior Strategy Manager here at Strata. And today I have with me Asfia Abrar, Vice President of our investments team. And we will be discussing how to build a balanced CRE portfolio. Now we all know that commercial real estate as a product, it's a great investment, right? You get good yields, the assets are very stable, but you probably don't want to invest all your money into one specific asset. And that is why we thought it would be a great idea to discuss how you can build a balanced portfolio. Now, Asfia, maybe you could expand on that topic and explain to us maybe some of the things that we would have to think about to build a balanced portfolio.
Correct. Thanks, Naren. Thanks for having me. So, of course, a commercial real estate portfolio is one of the things which requires number of strategies while building up, So I would recommend few strategies especially for the first time investor or otherwise also while investing in a commercial real estate. First and primarily, you have to look into diversification. So a portfolio should be a good mix of office spaces, industrial spaces, or retail. So that is one thing which is very, very important for all the investors. At the same time, you should diversify location wise also, wherein you invest not only at one particular city but in various cities,
right,
which will help you in mitigating the risk basically. Also, for the risk management, you can do a thorough risk assessment of the market condition. What kind of properties are available in the market, and also what kind of growth prospect you see in them. So that's where my third point comes, wherein you have to look into the financial analysis part of it as well, wherein you look into the cash flow of the property, what kind of rental escalations you are getting in that particular property, what kind of tenants you are getting. So it's very important that your cash flow is in place, and more than that, consistent. That is one thing which at Strata we give a lot of importance. Thirdly, you should also be aware of the current macro trends, like your current interest rate or other GDP parameters, which can influence your interest rate scenario and as well as the rental yields as well. So specifically, if you are building up a commercial real estate portfolio in a pre-leased asset, it will play a very huge role. Lastly, I would say you should align your investment goal with the investment in commercial real estate portfolio, because idea is to achieve your objectives, investment objectives. So I believe it's very important it should fit into your commercial real estate portfolio as well, to match up with your eventual
the property or the asset that we're investing in should be able to meet the investment goal that you have for it.
Correct.
Right? Makes sense. So I think we actually covered a lot of ground there. I think first we spoke about the importance of the location. We spoke about the kind of the financial, the cash flows. We thought risk matrices. So there is a lot of ground here. But I do want to get into one specific topic, which is the types of assets, right? Now, commercial real estate, there are a lot of different types of assets.
Correct.
I just want to, maybe you could explain to us what kind of assets work best, where, and what are their strengths or weaknesses?
Correct. So there are definitely various assets under the commercial real estate. First, to start with, I would say office spaces. So anybody who is looking for investing in an office space should definitely consider the job market in that particular segment, what kind of appreciation that office spaces are getting, and also what kind of offices are, especially after the COVID scenario, is up and alive, So it's very important to look at the sector also that point in time. You can definitely have a good mix of CBD, which is a central business district, or a peripheral part of the
of the
city, even the emerging part. So it could be a good mix of that. That is office spaces. Secondly, I would say retail. Retail, again, it's very, very important to look into what kind of footfall is coming in that particular retail outlet, what kind of tenant quality is there. So for example, if you see in BKC, though BKC is a great market for office spaces as well, but equally great market for retail spaces. So if you have a retail space in BKC with a good tenant, with a good lease term and regular appreciations, I think it's one of the great way of entering into a commercial real estate. I would thirdly, I would say it's the industrial
spaces. Warehousing.
So while selecting an industrial space, you have to keep in mind that there is a good proximity to transfer hubs or the logistic part, because that will play the major role for any industrial asset, because it could be a distribution facility, manufacturing, or a warehousing. But again, the proximity to logistic and everything would be very, very important. Last but not the least, you can look at hospitals or data centers, malls, all these as one more subset of all these investment classes. So these are few segments which investor can look under the commercial.
So like the niche products like data centers or hospitals or schools or hotels, they kind of fall as a mix of one of the subsets of the office, industrial, retail.
Yeah, it depends what kind of.
Understood. Now, Asfia, maybe for the benefit of the investors, right, who's listening, maybe let's take Bangalore as a city, and you could walk me through what works best where, right? Like, let's take Bangalore and let's take office spaces. Now, where do office spaces work?
So if you look at Bangalore as a city, and we're talking about central business district here, MG Road and nearby areas like Richmond Road, all these can be considered as a central business district. Kormangla and all will come under the secondary business district. And if you are looking at a peripheral or a upcoming or a emerging, your Whitefield can be a good example.
Right, Whitefield, Outer Ring Road.
Yes, correct. So that ways, that is how you can segment Bangalore.
Makes sense. And these are the places where offices will work best.
Correct. So if you're looking at office space, these are the places.
So and then let's look at retail then. What
so if I talk about retail, Kormangla is definitely one. Indiranagar is
another one.
So it's a mix of central and the secondary business district.
Exactly.
Likewise, if I talk about warehousing, you can look at Hoskote, Pina, which all come on connecting highways. So logistic wise, it's very convenient for a warehousers or even for the manufacturing company.
Got it. So I think like visually, if you think about it, like the closer you are to the core of the city, offices work there, but they also work on the outskirts because it's cheaper and it's easier to build large office spaces.
Correct. And every city is expanding, so they need space, and that's why we talk about upcoming centers like I mentioned, Whitefield and all. So yes.
Makes sense. And of course, retail is spread around exactly where the people are. It's either close to the residential parts or it's close to where the offices are.
Correct.
And of course, warehousing and industrial, it's always on the outskirts because it's easier.
Right?
For trucks
even for trucks and all, connectivity is better and they don't have to move through cities.
Exactly.
That's the whole idea. The warehousing places are generally little outside the main city.
Thanks, Asfia. I think that kind of helps people understand, right? The right asset at the right location. Now, we at Strata, investing in commercial real estate, that's what we do. We kind of understand instinctively when we take an asset, what are the different challenges that will come with it, right? But I don't think that's the case for most people who are listening to us. So maybe, Asfia, you could explain what are the different challenges someone would face when they're trying to build a balanced portfolio?
So I would say, anybody who is looking at investment in commercial real estate can definitely go individually in the market, pick up an asset and invest. But the challenge comes in market expertise. The expertise of the picking up the right commercial real estate, what kind of capital appreciation you can get in that market. So that's where the role of experts will come, wherein you reach for any kind of market expertise, you reach out to the experts and take their opinion, and you get to know the best about the market.
Right.
So today, even as an investor, if say I have 20 crores to invest, I would not like to invest everything in one asset without even having a proper research done. So major challenge come that it requires big capital and market expertise. Secondly, the capital management. You know, you want to invest a large capital, but how to invest in a diversified portfolio?
Yeah,
that is another challenge which people face.
Yeah.
So that is one thing. Thirdly, operational challenges, wherein, you know, managing a 20-30 crore asset for an individual can become a operational hazard.
Yeah.
So you better have an expert team and proper resources wherein you can peacefully live with that investment and get a good yield. And lastly, of course, the tenant management and lease management, which is again a very, very important part for any pre-lease commercial real estate properties. So these are the few challenges which people face. And like I mentioned earlier, the best practice to avoid these kind of challenges, you know, diversification, do the pure due diligence, you know, make sure that your property is secured. You should have a contingency plan in case of exit. You should have a proper exit strategy as well. So all these things, and eventually it should match with, like I mentioned earlier also, it should match with your eventual objective of investments. So whenever you design a portfolio for yourself, you categorize as per your need and requirement and objectives, and you categorize that this portion will go to debt, this will go to equity, this will go to alternate asset classes. So all that expertise, I generally recommend to all my investors, it's better to take a expertise opinion, be it a real estate professional or a financial advisor or a legal advisor. It's always helpful before you decide to invest.
Makes perfect sense, Asfiya. Thank you so much. I especially like the point where you're stressing, right, which is understand what kind of asset you want to invest in, and it should be based on your financial goal. Like I guess for someone who's investing in commercial real estate through Strata or in general, what would you think matches best? Like, what kind of goals can CRE actually satisfy?
So there are two things. I would not here compare with you know, residential or anything, but I'll tell you, if you're looking at a commercial real estate, you are definitely looking for a regular income in terms of rentals. You are looking at a less volatile asset class, wherein you don't have to look at the, you know, portfolio every day in, day out. Thirdly, you are looking at a wealth creation, which comes with the capital appreciation. So these three things, I believe,
is what CRE actually provides, right? So I think for some, so if your financial goal is to make money fast, CRE is probably not the product for it. But if you're someone who's looking to make a good amount of money, build wealth over time, and not have volatility or issues coming in the middle, then CRE is the perfect product for it. And of course, even inside that, I'm sure each different asset, like an office or a warehouse, would have different levels of returns and volatility. And which is why I think what you said is speaking to an expert is so important.
Correct. And that is why you do diversification.
Exactly.
Right? Within a commercial real estate.
Exactly. So, thank you so much for that, Asfiya. And I think, folks, with that, we come to the end of this masterclass session. I hope it was informative for you. And if you would like to invest in commercial real estate, do check us out at strataprop.com. Thank you.
Thank you.